Founders, we're back. And today, what I want to talk about is handling information. Um, this is a complex topic that I'm going to actually try to simplify for you. Um, but I'll just kind of go through and kind of pretty much paint the picture of what I mean by handling information. When you're building your business, you're an architect, right? So you're building out this elaborate system, which you should have a system that carries out certain duties from it, from what's customer facing to what's not, to what's CEO facing, um, to what's employee facing, and those lanes should be well separated. Obviously, you're not going to share with customers who your vendors are, or what products you use or what recipes you use at your restaurant. It's just certain things you won't share, right? So there's just certain information that you share with the customer. And then there's other information that you share with your staff. And this is kind of more what I want to hone in on in this lesson. You want to make sure that the information is also layered to those in your company. Now, I'm being careful with this because it seems diabolical anytime it appears like a founder is protecting their business from their employees. The culture that we live in is it vilifies founders, owners, CEOs, and make them the enemy. And even as employees are working for the company, the majority of them tend to see the company as an oppressor of them. And it's very tough being the founder, managing that, because the customer wants the cheapest price possible and the employee wants the highest pay possible. The vendors want the fastest payment possible, and you're trying to keep the business afloat amongst all these different objectives from different people or entities that has something to do with the business called stakeholders. Um, so it's very tough because people would look at the founders as they're bad, right? That's it's very quick for a story to catch steam on what a founder is doing wrong or what a company is doing wrong. It may not even be the founder. It could be the employees, but the founder, it's your system, or the owner. It's your machine. So it would be on you, unless you're so far removed, like maybe a Jeff Bezos is so far removed from being in a warehouse that if things are happening with packages or subscriptions or trucks, vehicles, they're not really going to Jeff Bezos at this point. They may say Amazon, they may say who's the leadership. The media does not expect to talk to Jeff Bezos if there's an issue with vehicles on the road. They expect to speak to the highest person possible. So at that point, you can be far removed. But he, Jeff Bezos is such the minority. Um, he would be called to Congress to testify, but not the media or, you know, the local mayor or. So he's a minority of businesses. The majority of businesses has the owner a little closer in proximity to the operations, or they are an operator in the business. So what tends to happen is um, that person can be quickly vilified if things are not right. So let's get back to the giving that back information. What does all this mean? There's often pressure within the company from employees. It could be may have been with you for a long time, what they consider a long time. They may be management. They may feel they've sacrificed, and at a certain point, it just depends on them subjectively how they see the company or see you, what they feel that they're entitled to. And a lot of times, it could be people who may view you a certain way, how you present yourself, how the company presents itself, that they should have access to your critical information, your proprietary information. And that right there, the pressure of that, especially if it's a owner or founder that's not properly buffered or protected by their management team, if you have a management team, it's easy for the owner to crumble under the pressure of democracy, right? It's a whole lot of them, one of you, maybe two of you. And if it's two of you, that's actually a lot, because two founders operating, running the business, that is a lot of support for each other, that two co-owners will be very good at scathing off 50 people who are bringing pressure to them to give them access to certain information, unless one of those founders are employee has an employee affinity, or for whatever reason. That's a whole lot of stuff I don't want to get into, but there are a lot of reasons for that. But if you have two, that's a lot. If you're by yourself, it can be very difficult, because that can be a pounding door all the time. They're banging the door, basically saying, and I'm saying metaphorically, banging the door, trying to get you to oblige to what they need, whether it's more pay, whether it's certain accommodations, whether it's information, or whatever it is. And sometimes owners break under that pressure. So what you really have to do is layer your management. And when you layer your management, you also layer the information that goes and is disseminated. It becomes a great mechanism, right? So within my organization, I have three layers of management: managers, senior managers, and executives. Executive level would be who knows the most, and managers would be who know the least, but managers would know more than the staff, right? But even at the executive level, they may not know everything that the founder may know. Coca-Cola has been around over 100 years, and people have worked, retired, and even passed away, and still don't know the recipe behind Coke. And that is acceptable for them. Huge billion-dollar company, it's expected, right? They're expected to not know the real source of the coffee beans from Starbucks. It's expected. But for your operation, they may feel, which is unfair for them to feel, that they should also know what your recipe is or for your coffee beans, or your Coca-Cola. And it's unfair. But in those cases, you got to ignore the pressure. That's just part of growing your business. But you got to layer the information, and the information that comes to them, there should be a hierarchy. It's an importance of what they need to know. And let me tell you, don't do this ambiguously. Don't do this just based on the staff that you have at the time. You know, staff, they can come and go. Don't do it based on that. Do it based on a policy that you have in place. Black and white. This is who have access to this. This is who has access to that. This is who have access, not just information, but parts of the system of your computer, of who the customer information, the CRM. Just access should be black and white and laid out properly. That is a part of building your system. So let's make sure that your information is flowing properly. That way, because the more information you give to someone, you can't take it back, right? That's one of the things with information. You can't take it back. Things may be great. You may feel this is a lovely person, and at that time, your feeling of them being a lovely person and you're giving it to them, that's an emotional decision. Your business should be ran on the black and white. So if you're using your emotional decision to say, oh, this is a lovely person, I can give them access to that information, you give them access to that information, things go left, you can't get that information back. So whatever now you open the company to, liability-wise, it's based on that information that you gave them when you felt they were such a great person. So you really got to be careful with how you disseminate stuff and how you give access. There's a whole process that should be done that you should lay out to make sure you protect your company, and that is what contributes to its sustainability. And it contributes to you not being held hostage by certain staffers. Okay? All right. As always, the man who fails is wealthier than the man who never tries. I'll talk to you next time. See you in the next lesson.